let's go back to the need for the guru. The Westerner will say, Jesus is my guru. Yeah, but where is he now? Where is he now? He came, if we didn't need the physical presence of a guru, why did he come down in the first place and change the world in a body? If we didn't need a guru, why did he come down? What is a guru? A guru is a Christed person. He is, you see, he's become the butterfly. And he has wings, and he lives on nectar, and he lives in space. And he's trying to tell us caterpillars, look, one of these days you're going to be a butterfly like me. They can't hear him, they can't see him. I counted 8 people just now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and the guru is the 9th, the middle there. Can't see him, but he's talking through me. He's thinking through you. He's always active, but we're not conscious of it all the time. But without the God-man, it's impossible for man to reach God. So there's God there, there's man there, there's God-man there, in the middle. He's part man, part God. Not part, but wholly man, wholly human, man, woman, wholly human and wholly divine. In a physical body. Why bother take a physical body? Because he wants to communicate with us. And we can't. Humanity cannot communicate directly to God because we're limited by the senses, by the physical senses. We're limited. So he puts on a physical form. He can be called Krishna, he can be called Rama, he can be called Muhammad, he can be called Jesus Christ or Moses, or Guru this or Guru that. But he will come again and again. If he can do it once, he can do it twice. If he can do it twice, he can do it 50 times. You know, he can do it. There may be one in every country. If only people can understand the principle of God-man, or God-human, human God, there wouldn't be all these religious wars all the time. They're all talking about the same thing. I'm saying water, you're saying ore, he's saying mat, he's saying Wasser. What other languages are?
So Pani.
Huh? And Ab, yes, whatever. Yeah, but they're talking about exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing. Now, if you want to boil water, you take that bowl. Beautiful. You put water in it, and you need boiling water. You put it on the fire. Do you expect it immediately, as soon as you put it on the fire, to turn into boiling water? No. Do you? No. Well, you'd be very disappointed if you did, and you'd have to wait. Whether you expected it or not, you just have to wait for it to boil. Now, before it reaches boiling point, it has to go through lukewarm. Yes? Now, what is lukewarm? Lukewarm is part cold, part warm, part hot. It's a mixture of the two. It's the two extremes meeting in the middle. Lukewarm. It has to go. It cannot go from cold to boiling. Impossible. You cannot go from human to divine. You've got to have the middle point, the human divine. You see, when God puts on a human, you're cold. Haven't you got coats, all of you? You must have something.
Well, we can leave the top bits. Why don't we just leave the top bits open? Because if we've got a window open here, which is pushing the air. Shall we just open the top bit? Is that enough for you, Joy?
If you could just put something on you, you'd be warmer. I think you need air. It's just very important. The Kundalini absolutely needs air. She will not rise unless she's got air. If you put a glass bell over that candle, it won't last lit very long because it needs the oxygen. The fire inside us needs the oxygen. So make sure you're always warm, but with a little crack of air open.
Yeah, I've got
right. So, do you understand the principle of the middle point? The middle point is what connects the two, and the reason the divine finds it appropriate to put on a physical body is in order to communicate with us while we're still in physical form, because otherwise we'll never make it if there's no guru. And he said, I will come like a thief in the night, and only my own people will recognize me. And he said, I will always be in the world. The Christ figure said that. But they all say that, you see. I mean, we've got Baba here, Muktananda. Now he passed away. We don't even say passed away or died, we say Mahasamadhi because they choose the day they're leaving. And he knew when he was leaving, and he nominated the lady sitting there, Guru Mai. He nominated her as his successor, but we were all, so despondent and crying. I mean, I cried so much on him when he left, more than I did for my father or mother or husband or child or friends. Or I just could not get out of it. But he told us, do not mourn, because the candle may be finished, but the flame has gone on to another candle. The flame is the same. So it doesn't matter what religion you're following. If you're following the instructions of the Guru of that religion, you're on the right path. But the only difference is that you need a living one, because I can't light your candle from a picture. You can't. I've got this beautiful picture. Look, I'm a Guru. I've got a beautiful picture with a lovely candle. I'm going to light your come and bring your candles. You can stay there for 3 months, praying and saying your mantra, and you won't light your candle, because it's not a living flame. That's why they keep coming back and back and back, because otherwise, if one was enough, for the rest of history, we'd have only the one. But no, the gurus come. The gurus is really just the manifestation of the one God, appearing to people in the shape of a spiritual leader, in order to help us come out of our caterpillarhood, But it's absolutely necessary to accept the fact that you have to do it through a guru, a living guru. You can call him Muktananda. If you don't like the look of him or her, find another guru, but make sure that they are really bona fide gurus, because nowadays, the guru, everybody is giving him money and presents, and I'd like that as well. So they put on a saffron robe and they say, my name is Guru Ginger, and and they, and people are so anxious and wanting that they will follow anybody. But Christ said, it's the blind leading the blind, and they shall both fall into the ditch. So be careful who you choose as your guru. I had about 3 or 4 gurus before and I didn't know what guru was. I thought they were teachers. Like, I'm a teacher. A lot of these Indians, they're so. I mean, Anne's been witness to this. They come and they touch my feet. Oh, you're my guru. They have to explain to them. Yeah, but they're giving me all their karma. That's why they touch the guru's feet. They take all their karma for him to burn, because he's able to burn it. You see? And I said, what am I going to do? And they said, touch them on the head and give it back to them. So when they come, they do that. And you explain to them, I am not a guru, I am a teacher. Would to God I was a guru. I've been trying for 40 years. My ego is still, a little chunk like that has gone out of 40 years of it. But I got this yesterday. I looked at this and it said, see yourself in the mirror of grace. Because I'm always crying. I've cried in front of you. I've cried in front of people saying, I don't know, I'm never going to make it, because I'm this and I'm that, and I react, and I don't act, I react, and I'm very sharp. Boof. I mean, I've learned to zip my mouth, because when I say something, it's so hurtful. I can ask forgiveness for 2 years on, and they still can't forget it. The damage is done. You see, so it's a difficult journey. But people like Anne, she hasn't got an ego. You can smack her, you can steal her purse, you can say you're the she. I keep saying I wish I was like you, but ego can take different forms. You can have holy people that are fantastic. You don't know what goes on inside them. You don't know. We cannot judge. But the thing is, don't be too harsh on yourselves.
Question.
See
so
yourself.
when you said you've had like 3 gurus, how did you know, like, when you decided, like, this is the one for me? You just knew?
Miracles. I'm afraid I'm one of those that until I saw a miracle, I didn't believe. I've told this story so many times. I tested him when I went to the first time when I went to see him the first time in Ganeshpur in India, the big ashram there, thousands of people there, could hear a pin drop, no talking, everybody with socks, very quiet. And there was an L-shaped thing. I'm sorry if you've heard this story before, but it has to answer the question, how I knew. I looked at him, his face was looking at the men sitting like that, and we women were sitting like this in an L shape, and he was not facing the women, he was facing the men that way. So I was looking at his profile, and I was sitting right at the back, and he always wore dark glasses. So I'm thinking, they say that you're divine, that you're a guru, that a guru, I was really quite new to all this, I didn't really know what a guru was, you know. But I said to him, if you can hear and that you can read our thoughts now, if you can read my thoughts, then I keep saying to Anne when she drives me places and the sat nav is saying, turn left, and then you don't, you turn right, just recalculating, you know. Yeah, but there are millions of us, millions on the road, really, literally, millions of people, and the sat nav up there is saying to each one, well, if a human machine can do that, can you imagine what they're doing? So I said to him in my mind, they say that you can read thoughts. If you can read my thoughts, just take your dark glasses off and look at me, that's all. Tell you what. Well, okay. I said, this may be coincidence, you know. Could you tell me, could you just do it one more time for me, just to make sure that it's not coincidence? Oh, then my heart started pounding. And then I thought, well, once can be coincidence, even twice can be coincidence. And Guruji, please look, if you do it a third time, I will know for sure you're a real guru. I will never test you again. Just do it one more time. Please forgive me, but do it one more time. I just want to be so sure. But how can you explain that? It's like a fairy tale. There are 2,000 people there. And he's like an ant over there. So that was the first testing. That really made me absolutely sure. Then I went up to him one day and I said, my mala, I took my mala. I'm pointing here that I wear it, and you've got a mala. Are you wearing yours?
I've got the, yeah.
Sibella, are you wearing yours?
I've got mine on actually.
Ah. Anyway, I don't take mine off, not for hell or high water, because every time I take it off, something happens. So I've got another one for when I want to pray. I've got another one, so I don't have to take this one off. But that's me. Don't take any notice of that. So where was I? What was I saying?
When you went to go and see him with your mala, talk to him.
Ah yes, I went up to him with my mala. That's right. That's why I mentioned the mala. And I said, Guruji, and he didn't speak English. He had an interpreter. She was his interpreter, by the way, for years and years. Went all over the world with him. I said, can you put some Shakti in? I mean, even a person who doesn't understand Chinese will understand if I'm saying Shakti, which means the divine power. Please put some Shakti into my mala. He put his hand on my mala, and then I kissed. He always sat like that on a raised platform. I got his knee. I wanted to kiss his feet, but the feet were tucked in, so I used to stick his knee. I was kissing his knee, and he went whack on my back. He went, Shakti. And I went back to my place, and the American lady sitting near me said, my God, I thought you were going to faint out. Was it excruciatingly painful? I said, no. I was blissed out all day long. I didn't want to eat, didn't want to talk. I cannot explain bliss. I mean, you're really physically blissed out. It is a orgasm. But all day, it's just absolutely. In the end, you say, enough, enough. You want to go back to normality. I'm used to all this bliss. But how can I doubt that he's a guru after all that? But then there are other stories. I could go on all day just talking about the things I saw and heard, and also heard from others. If you go to the ashram, I'll give you the address. Some of you have got the address. If you want it, ask Alan or Sibel, they'll give you the address of the centre. We haven't got an ashram here in England. We had one, they sold it. We've now got a centre. The difference is that in the ashram you can actually live for a while. But he doesn't, it's not like a convent where you go in for life. The Guru says you come here, you find yourself, and then you go up, like the Buddha said, you know, you go back into the marketplace. Yeah. So we haven't got ashram, we've got a centre. You go to the centre there, you will hear, everybody's got about 10 stories of what the Guru did for them, you know. Because it's really essential to have a living Guru. And not only can you not light your candle from a picture, you've got to have a living flame. You cannot eat a meal from the most beautifully illustrated cookbook. You know, you've got beautiful big ones now. They're all illustrated, coffee table ones. They make your mouth water, but they don't feed you. You've got to have the real thing. You find yourself a living Guru, bona fide, test him or her, and follow that Guru. The fact that you're here, you've been guided to this particular Guru. You can take it or leave it. You cannot. Nothing can be forced, and don't actually persuade you. It's got to be an inner feeling, you know, an inner recognition. But whichever Guru it is, it's the same flame. Fire is fire. Fire is in everything. Why they worshipped fire before? Because fire is divine. Fire is the only thing we're allowed, the only spiritual thing we're allowed to see is fire. Let me put it in another way. The only way we are allowed with our physical eyes to see God is fire. He appeared to Moses in the bush, in a burning bush. Yeah? He appeared to Elijah to prove to the prophets, I don't know how well you know your Bibles, the 40 prophets, they prayed all day long to prove to the crowds that they had the power, and the fire didn't come down, didn't burn the sacrifice. Elijah said, pour water over the sacrifice, pour buckets of water over it, and they did. And he prayed to God, and vroom, and the fire came down. Fire, 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 throughout the Old Testament, New Testament, the Ahura Mazda, what are they called? The Parsis still worship fire. They still worship fire. Now, when they say God is in everything, you take two stones and you put them together, you get fire. It's in everything. You take two pieces of wood, fire. You take two clouds, fire. Fire. Fire is in everything. Fire is in you. If it goes out of control, look, you put your hand where you're there, put your hand under your arm. Okay. You take your temperature with a thermometer. If that temperature goes to that inner fire that burns very slowly, like a cigarette, burns very, very slowly. It's burning all the time. That's why we get old and ugly and wrinkled with age. But the spirit, the spirit gets better and better. You know, it's like the older and more decrepit you get physically, the more your spirit is being released to go upward. You see, but the fire is in everything. The fire is also in you. This Agni that we're talking about, this Shakti, it's called the serpent of fire. If it goes out of control, it's a fever. If it goes really out of control, you've had it. And we were talking the other day of spontaneous combustion. There are 100, on average, 100 cases every year in England alone, of spontaneous combustion where people burst into flames. Everything gets burnt except their clothes and shoes. That's the inner fire. That's the look. There's so much that's explicable tangibly. There are actual physical examples of the fire within us. Yeah? So God is in everything, and we can only get that close to it. We can't live without it, but we can't touch it. It consumes matter. It is spirit. Spirit consumes matter. That's why in the old days they weren't that stupid, you know, when they used to worship fire, but they didn't intellectualize it and explain it so tangibly. But yes, the fire is in you. The divine spark is in absolutely every single one of us. And it is consuming our body little by little by little, like a cigarette like a lit cigarette, is being consumed. But what do we do with that short time that we've got before we're snuffed out? We're here for a reason. And that reason is to liberate your soul, so that it doesn't have to keep reincarnating again and again and again and again until, you see, that's another topic. As soon as we've had a question and answer break, we'll go back to this other subject, the continuation of why some people believe in reincarnation and some people don't. The West has lost it completely. But you can see where the West is going. I mean, let's not say the West, let's say this country. Annie, let's sing something. Can this nation be